Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Brendan here with Trevor. He's in for Heather this week. We were off yesterday, but now we're back.
We're back.
With, let's see, well, we're going to mostly talk about the weather. But you can mention where you're watching from if you have any questions. You can tell us what you got for Christmas yesterday. Whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Yeah. I know that kind of opens up a
Yeah,
a lot of things. Yeah, I got to be careful what I wish for.
Yep. Well, I can say that I got everything that I wished for. It was a very good night. I was out at my aunt's house. I got to eat prime rib.
Oh, that's right.
It was very good. I ate like a pound of it. It's like a pound of prime rib. It's a lot of meat.
Yeah, that was a lot of
I
meat,
skipped lunch for that because I knew I was going to be eating good. So, yeah, it was a good time. Hopefully, everybody else had wonderful holidays as they continue to go. Obviously, yesterday was the first official day of Hanukkah, and then obviously we got New Year's around the corner as well. So, wherever you are, if you're joining us, thank you and happy holidays again.
Did you get any leftovers, Trev?
I did not because there was
you ate all of it?
nothing left.
The prime rib gone.
There was either nothing left or nothing that I wanted to take home.
Oh, okay.
Some of the side dishes weren't as good, so I didn't ask for any leftovers of those. So, yeah, otherwise it was a great day. Got to spend time with family. I got to see a family member that I hadn't seen in over a decade.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay,
I
that's
didn't
good.
even know he was going to be there.
Surprise.
I showed up and he was there. I was like, oh, and I didn't even recognize him because it had been so long.
Uncle or cousin or who was it?
Technically grandfather.
Oh, okay.
Technically.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Reconnecting with family members, yeah. A decade later. Well, yeah, you can talk more about it if you want, but otherwise we can move on to the weather quiz. Everybody did pretty well with this today.
Yep, we can move on to the weather quiz. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, everybody got it. Everybody got the weather question, at least here in the studio, and also our Facebook viewer at 625 also got it right. So we were a perfect 4 for 4 today. In meteorology, the term baroclinic zone refers to a region of constant blank. The answer choices are temperature, pressure, or density. A lot of weather revolves around temperature gradients and pressure gradients and all that stuff. And so we use the term baroclinic to describe the constant nature of one of those variables. And so, and also wind shear has a little bit to do with it as well, which we could use to describe, strengthening systems and also the rate at which they would strengthen, or at least the likelihood of said strengthening system. So we'll give you some time to think about that. And then we'll turn over to the weather. Today's a very, I'm just going to come right out and say it. Today's a very gross day. It's on the warmer side, obviously. Everybody's going to be above freezing today. We're not necessarily above freezing right now. I can look at the temperatures right here to my left. Pellston's actually at 15 right now, which is not anywhere near considered warm. But many other areas are still in the 30s. Traverse City is 31. And some other areas are in the high 20s and low 30s as well. So temperatures right now aren't necessarily the warmest, but by the time it's all said and done, our high temperatures today should be above freezing everywhere. And the weird caveat to that is that our high temperatures are not going to be in the afternoon. Our high temperatures today are actually probably going to be very, very close to sunset. Because we're going to have a south wind in place all day, and it's going to be constantly feeding us warmer and warmer air. So as the day progresses, it's going to take longer and longer until we eventually inevitably reach our highs. Our highs today are going to be very, very close to the lows tonight. It's going to be very warm tonight. It's mild today, but tonight it's warm because it's very common for us to get down into like the teens and 20s. Overnight, we won't be anywhere near that. Most temperatures, no temperatures will be below 30 or even 32 for that matter. So a warm night ahead, all things considered for the time of year, and a mild day. But I say it's gross because we've got so much moisture being fed up into our region from that south wind. And so we have temperatures that are very, very close to the dew point. And whenever you get wet conditions where the temperature is very close to the dew point, you've got cloud cover, and things are kind of stuck to the ground, especially when you've got like rain and leftover residue. Typically what ends up happening is you can create fog pretty easily. And we've done that in a lot of areas this morning, especially inland. The northeastern upper, many areas along the tip of the Mitt and also close to Lake Michigan are not having to deal with this. But obviously, as you can see there, Gaylord down to 0.3 miles. Statute miles of visibility. Houghton Lake has been down to less than a mile. They were at where Gaylord was. They were at 0.3 for, at one point they were at that for over an hour, maybe 2. But at the very least, they've had less than a mile since I got into work, which was 2:15 in the morning. And so, yeah, very foggy morning in Houghton Lake, that's for sure. And many other areas, even Alpena, which is not a very common area to be getting dense fog like that, but even they are having to deal with it as well. And I guess what I can do, well, Cadillac's on the camera behind me. I wonder if I could show Gaylord, because they have the 0.3 right now. And see, what's Gaylord up to? Oh, wow, I can see it already. There it is. There's Gaylord. So a very dreary morning in Gaylord. And so many areas are going to look like that throughout the course of the day today. We're going to add some misty drizzle chances to the forecast today. Not anything significant in terms of accumulation or rainfall, but with this system approaching ever so closer and it continues to feed in warmer and warmer air, some small levels of instability can't be outruled, and so there's the potential for some very light showers or drizzle or just mist throughout the day today. And I'll tell you, the areas that end up getting those drizzle and like misty conditions are going to turn over to fog pretty quickly, because it doesn't, under conditions like this, it doesn't take much rain to make fog. The biggest chance of that is going to be tonight. So past, I would say 6 o'clock is when a lot of that stuff's going to come in off the lake, and we'll say isolated to scattered chances for drizzle, especially inland and up north tonight. That'll be our main rain chance over the course of the next like 12 hours or so. And then tomorrow, things will take a shift. We'll get some isolated chances in the morning, a semi-dry spell for just a couple hours, it looks like. There might be a small dry slot in there before the system actually arrives. And then ahead of the system, when it actually does get here, we'll go to fairly widespread light rain by late tomorrow afternoon. And then again on Saturday as well. Like there's a very early morning Saturday. This is as far as this model goes out, but there's very, very early Saturday morning. Pretty consistent light widespread rain, or I guess I should say widespread light rain is the correct grammar there. So yeah, and along with those, again, as I mentioned, the south wind is going to be in place for the next several days. I think we're going to have a south wind until I think it's Tuesday. But with the system feeding up moisture, we're also going to be increasing temperatures. And so I do want to show the weekend forecast as well, because I showed this on air, but I guess I'll show it for the Facebook Live as well, if I can find it. There it is. So the high temperatures for Saturday will range nothing below 40, and some areas could reach the low 50s. So very reminiscent of Christmas Day last year when we were in the 50s and had rain. And we're going to have that again this year, pretty close to New Year's, obviously just a couple of days after Christmas. And a lot of melting will happen in those couple of days simply because we're going to be way above freezing, and the rain being above freezing melts on contact. So there's a good chance some areas could remove a lot of snow in that time. And then eventually, it'll take a while, but eventually in the middle of next week, we will start to continuously decline our temperatures until we should be pretty close to normal again by, at least as of right now, it looks like the middle to maybe close to the end of next week around Thursday or so. But we'll stay warm tomorrow and especially through the weekend, Saturday being by far the warmest day. And then even Monday and Tuesday look above average with some slight chances for like isolated mix or showers still. We don't have any snow in the forecast at all until I think at the very earliest Wednesday. So we get a bit of a dry spell here in terms of snow, but we still get the rain. And then as far as snow is concerned, we're still looking at the same possibility. I showed this yesterday. I keep saying yesterday. We weren't here yesterday. 2 days ago, I had showed this. There's the possibility for once this all settles down and these systems move out, the middle to later end of next week, whenever cold air finally does set in again, statistical modeling still shows the likelihood of lake effect snow returning at the end of next week, which would be, that would be literally New Year's Day. I think New Year's Day is next Wednesday. Yep, and then New Year's, the day after New Year's Day is obviously next Thursday. So it looks like parts of New Year's Day and then the day after we'll have snow back in the forecast. So that's something to keep up to. We'll keep a close eye on that because obviously people are going to be traveling around that time too, and people are going to be outside. And obviously you guys are going to have to be outside at 11:45 in the morning when that happens. So, or 11:45 at night for the cherry ball drop on New Year's and whatnot. So we'll keep an eye on this to see how it progresses. But that's our next chance for snow. It looks like. Yeah, that's all I got, I guess. A pretty dreary day today. Again, it feels weird to say this at this time of year, but it's a damp-ish day. Mm-hmm. It feels almost humid, but it's not hot enough to say that it's humid.
Sure.
But in terms of relative humidity percentage, we're going to be in the 80s and 90s for relative humidity today. A very damp day in terms of relative humidity percentage. I'll leave the weather quiz back on the screen again. Let's say hello to our friends, shall we?
Going back to what Trevor was talking about, the cherry tea ball drop, that happens in downtown Traverse City on New Year's Eve. So fun little fact for you, Trevor. I get to be inside with Heather this year.
Oh, it's inside, is it?
Yep, so Heather will be hosting with me, and Maya will be with me as well this year. As far as I know, Maya will be outside on the scissor lift at the intersection of Cass and Front. But anyway, if you want to watch that, more than welcome to. 11:45 is when everything starts. Goes till probably like a minute after midnight, something like that. So pretty quick show. But wherever you're watching this, UpNorthLive, Facebook, YouTube, and or X, you can watch it there. Should be a fun time, New Year's Eve. All right, we have Paul watching from Rogers City. He's saying, hi, Gib or Dan. It is Dan.
It is Dan.
Gib's back on Monday. Joel is watching again from the Pleasanton Patriots Pub, 30 degrees and cloudy. Got a Christmas snowmobile ride in. Probably last until next year, he said. And Paul also saying hi to Trevor and me. Jackie is saying it's 28 in Kalkaska. What a wonderful Christmas yesterday with family and friends. Hope the same for all of you. Got Mark saying good morning from Zephyr Hills, Florida. 58 degrees, might get to 74. It was supposed to get 74 and sunny Christmas Day. It looked like it was 68 and cloudy. Still relatively warm, I suppose. And he's commenting on how you were full, Trevor, after your pound of prime rib.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very full.
Joel said had 7 doe in the yard this morning. Paula saying happy Boxing Day. It sure is.
Is it Boxing Day?
In Canada, yeah.
Oh.
As far as I know, it's because
of
all the boxes from Christmas gifts. Like that kind of box.
Oh,
not like boxing.
That's not what I thought.
Paula, correct me if I'm wrong.
That's not what I thought at all. I thought the sport boxing.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the boxes in Canada. I could be wrong. Let me know. 28 degrees and cloudy, a dreary looking day, she said. Nancy saying good morning from East Jordan, where it's 27 degrees. Joel is guessing temperature for the weather quiz. Wally saying good morning, Brendan and Trevor. It's the day after Christmas. It's 80 where he is in North Fort Myers.
80. Oof. That's Florida for you.
Paula guessing pressure. Susan Lash Sims watching again from Kalkaska. It's cloudy, 30 degrees. Jackie guessing temperature. Ben saying good morning, -4 and cold in the White Mountains. Have a good day, he said.
-4.
Fahrenheit?
That's cold.
Brr. Susan Lash Sims guessing temperature. Mark watching from Fremont, Indiana, 35 degrees and foggy. My mom's watching. Hi, Mom. She's in Port Huron. She's saying, happy holidays, Facebook friends. Hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. My daughter and husband came from Chicago, so great day. Can't wait till Saturday to see Brendan and have our Christmas. I'll be there Friday, Mom. What are you talking about? Maybe she doesn't want me to come till Saturday. Maybe she's sending me a message. And then my sister is with us here. It's not very common. Kristen joins us.
Hello.
So hi, Kristen. And Cliff, that's her new fur baby, says good morning and happy Hanukkah. Dan, he's in for Gib. Director Dan is saying, hope you all had a good Christmas. My kids are still on a sugar high from yesterday and got spoiled rotten from Santa and the grandparents. And I imagine maybe the sugar high continues into today. And what about tomorrow, Dan, too? Or are we done with sugar for now? He's hoping, but probably not.
He's like,
sugar.
please save me. I hope we're done.
Paula paying attention to Trevor's forecast, saying, there goes the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to lose a lot of it, unfortunately, especially in the areas that didn't have a lot already.
Yeah.
Like around here where we are, we've only got, Traverse City has a base of like, at this point, probably no more than 4 or 5 inches. A lot of that's going to go by the end of the weekend.
Yep. Wally's saying, I don't get to see your program very many times when I'm in Florida because I'm always walking a couple of miles with my wife and her friends and my friends, and we always seem to be walking around 8:30 in the morning. You got to do it before it gets too hot.
Yep.
And what, Wally? I say get your steps in. You can join us another time. You can watch this back.
Yep, it's
when
all
we're not
posted
live.
online.
Thank you, Wally, though, for chiming in, and glad you're joining your wife and friends for getting some steps in. Alice saying good morning to my favorite people. She's our friend and weather watcher. Hi, Alice.
Hi, Alice.
And Jackie heard from Christopher. Oh, that's right. I saw Christopher commenting on one of my pictures, and he is commenting, but he's not joining us in the mornings for, well, he didn't specify, but Kathy saying nice ties. And
Thank you.
We say thank you, Kathy. Now we're all caught up. What is the answer, Trevor?
So the answer is pressure. Yep. Don't really have too much to, usually I like to follow these up with like crazy weather like explainers, but I don't really have too much to explain there. It's just a baroclinic zone is an area, and it can be over any amount of area, like the size can vary, in which the pressure is constant. It's usually vertical, but we use baroclinic zones to identify where systems are most likely going to strengthen, because baroclinic zones are often coincided with areas of high shear, which is a changing, shear is a changing of wind direction and also sometimes magnitude with height. So on the ground you could have, let's say, a south wind at 5 miles per hour, but at around a couple thousand feet in the air, it could be out of the southwest at 20 miles per hour. We call that change in temperature, not the change in temperature, the change in wind direction and also magnitude is identified as wind shear. The stronger wind shear there is, the more likelihood a system is going to strengthen over a period of time. So that's what we use baroclinic zones for. And yeah, it's an area of constant pressure. Barotropic would be temperature. Yep. And then as we mentioned before, everybody got it right today. It was a perfect
Nice
4
job,
for 4
team.
here in the studio. Our Facebook viewer, Larry, tuned in at 6:25, gave us his answer. Nice work, everybody.
Good job. All right. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday. We're back tomorrow, and I think Mark Schlett just walked in back from vacation.
He did.
Welcome back, Mark.
Good to be back.
That's him. I was guessing it's one of a few people the day after Christmas. I was guessing it was Mark. And our friends are holding themselves accountable with the weather quiz standings. And yes, Dan, if you want, you can run the next thing. It's up to you. If it's not queued up, that's fine. There it is. So if you want to join us, we are live from 4:30 to 7. If you're not in northern Michigan, that's okay. You can live stream us at UpNorthLive.com. We just had an email into the newsroom a couple days ago, somebody living in Florida. How do we watch your news? Well, you can go to our website, also the News On app. It's free, all one word. You can, in fact, watch some newscasts back, too. If you missed something and need to catch up on a story, we're here to help.
Yep.
With
We
those
also, if you want
newscasts.
just the stories themselves, like pretty much all of our stories are posted on social media too.
Yep.
If you're looking for one specific story, just
Yep.
go to our website, type it in.
Yep, a lot of ways. We want to meet you where you
We
are.
give you
so-
many, many options.
Yep. Thanks for your time today. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.